Bishop. This is my midterm presentation for my game pitch, and this is in regards to my game, Brethren Forsaken. So, information addressing the game. The intended platforms for Brethren Forsaken is PC and Mac. The target audience are first-person shooter enjoyers, and the SRB rating is mature for 17 years or older mature audiences. The projected shipping date, or the date of completion, is projected to be early 2025. Game summary. To summarize the game takes place in a post-apocalyptic mesa, in a withered desert with a town full of an abandoned Western town civilization in the Western era of American history. The story will take place during the early 1890s, which takes place in the late periods of the Western era. So the game will begin 9 months after the outbreak begins. The player controls a character named Clayton Tanner, who is a survivor of the apocalypse and who seeks to uncover the mysteries and the truth of the plague and its origins. The player will be rewarded with knowledge, as well as the resources for creating tools and weapons. The player must face the decayed, which are zombie-like creatures that are the enemies in Brethren Forsaken. The player will win, and the objective is to uncover the culprit and reveal the truth of the origins of the plague and to save the desert mesa. Who is Clayton Tanner? The main character is known as Clayton Tanner, who is a distrustful 29-year-old tan Caucasian male. Clayton Tanner has years of hunting knowledge and military experience. Clayton is familiar with the comfort of his oasis, but he's also familiar with the cruel conditions and the unforgiving nature of the desert mesa. Clayton is a loner. Clayton is normally selfish and does things by his own means and for his own interests. However, as soon as the letter at the start of the game appeared under his door by a mysterious figure, Clayton Tanner has newfound resolve to discover the truth and uncover the mysteries behind its origins. The controls of the game are WASD. These are the standard controls for forward, backward, right, and left. Additionally, control is to crouch, shift is to sprint, left click is to attack or use items, right click is to interact, 1, 2, 3 are for hotbar slots, as well as E to pick up and Q to drop objects. Additionally, Y is for the inventory, which is referred to the pouch in-game. Gameplay and progression. The game progresses through character text on screen, with character analyzing situations and giving tasks to players. An example of this will be dialogue. What was that strange knocking? These parts are typically barren. I better be prepared to fight when I open that door. Task. Open front door. Unique features and scenarios include crafting, shooting, combat, pushing/shoving, or interacting with objects, as well as interacting with enemies and with spiritual essences. Spiritual essences will be elaborated later in this presentation. Game atmosphere. The atmosphere and the environments in the game include settings such as a local church, abandoned hillside cottages, travel by horseback, and underground ruined remnants of a lab under the church. This will all be located in the desert mesa. Additionally, the towns and boarding homes will also be abandoned. The environment will be cluttered through the chaos of the catastrophe and the chaos that emitted when the plague first began. The environments in the game will depict the gloomy, decayed setting, as well as the hurried chaos when the outbreak first began in the desert mesa. The environmental settings will capture and depict the experiments, the secrets, and the dangers of the desert mesa, and will tie into uncovering the culprit and their origins. This will also tie into curing the decayed. The audio of the game is currently in progress and will be acetylene and emit uncertainty. Environmental biomes of the map represent diversity of the decayed terrain. Methods of travel and the audio incorporated into it will be a balanced atmosphere of a post-apocalyptic world full of cruel and harsh conditions. In-game experience. The title screen will be a sketch of the character Clayton Tanner, aiming down the scope of Winchester lever action scattergun, which is also referred to in modern day as a shotgun, aiming at a decayed entity. The music in-game will be ominous and will emit uncertainty. The interface of the game and its menu will include a change of settings in the top right of the screen with a settings bar, which will have sliders for brightness, shadows, sound, and in-game volume, as well as subtitle options. The camera will be in first person and will include the right hand of the player when idle and holding something, and will include in and out motion of the left and right hands when moving and running. When the player is not holding any item, neither hand will be in view of the camera. Game mechanics. The game mechanics include interactable objects and resources, such as a matchbox with matches to light objects, a rope, a butcher's knife, and a rusty revolver. Obtainables include a lantern, lab samples, spiritual essences to free the decayed, a machete, a Colt pistol, a Winchester rifle, a riding shotgun, ammunition, cans of tomato soup, rice, beans, pot for cooking, stirring spoon, a flask for storing water, and a pouch for additional storage. The hazards in-game include toxic fumes, tripwires, TNT, hostile mobs, and hired assassins. The economy is not a feature in Brethren Forsaken, and rather, items will be crafted and resources will be craftable. Enemies and obstacles. The decayed are the main enemy throughout Brethren Forsaken. The decayed are characters that are zombie-like fallen post-apocalyptic entities that have been driven mad and have an untamed, blood-curdling lust. The decayed can be defeated with being shot with ranged weapons or being defeated in hand-to-hand melee combat, as well as being able to be cured by a player's interactable spiritual essence. Who are the Forsaken? The Forsaken are the lost souls of the decayed. They're too far gone to be saved. These forms of the decayed are more brutal, more aggressive, more driven, and sharply cunning. The Forsaken can be defeated with ranged weapons, as well as hand-to-hand combat with melee weapons. The Forsaken cannot be cured with spiritual essences, as they are too far gone to be saved. Tortured Tyrants. Tortured Tyrant is an artificially created monster that originates from human creation and experimentation, driven with the purpose to dispose of invaders and potential explorers. The Tortured Tyrant is immune to physical threats, can be defeated by being heavily shot, or by exploding with TNT. The Tortured Tyrant is indeed a boss entity. Hired Assassins. Hired assassins are hired by the culprit behind the outbreak in attempts to thwart your plans of unearthing the secrets of the mesa. They can be defeated with ranged weapons as well as melee weapons. Bonus materials include Easter eggs, such as the Easter egg Patient Zero. Drink the suspicious substance in the church's underground lab. Suspicious substance. Drink the aged liquor in the abandoned saloon. Additionally, bonus achievements include Mercy of a Miracle. Free the soul of a decayed entity with a spiritual essence. Kablam! Blow up the tortured tyrant. A New World. Defeat the culprit behind it all. The player cap of the game Brethren Forsaken is one person, as Brethren Forsaken is intended to be a solo experience. Additional game information for Brethren Forsaken. The game title is Brethren Forsaken. There are no in-game purchases nor microtransactions. Brethren Forsaken will be free to play. There are currently no DLCs planned for Brethren Forsaken. Brethren Forsaken is scheduled and planned to be released in early 2025 on PC and Mac devices. Thank you. That is all for my midterm presentation and my game pitch of Brethren Forsaken. Thank you.